So, you want to form Germany in Victoria 3. You want to form that juicy Germanic empire and state. The dreams of it just flood to your mind. Well, to do that, there's only a select few that you could do. Bavaria, they're going to struggle against the northern Germans and against the Austrians. Hanover, don't make me laugh, they're a puppet of the Brits. The only clear choice is Prussia. Prussia, Brandenburg, the home of Berlin, is the clearest choice for unification of Germany, and in Victoria 3, they have a very straight line approach. As they are a major power, they start at rank 6. This video, I hope to cover how you should play Prussia. They are the titan of the north because they are known for their military prowess. Historically, at this time period, they're looking pretty strong. Even though their people are impoverished, like most of the world is, they are a Protestant absolute monarchy with 130 units, which is insane to start with. They have an insane amount of military power. Their start is probably one of the most safer starts for Vicky 3. It should be an easy one to learn, as well as if you want to form Germany and begin that dastardly world war that kind of throws everyone out of balance, maybe change it up and don't bring the funny mustache man and come on, I can't get canceled. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and remember, as always, if you like it, to leave a like down below, maybe a comment for me, maybe truck a sub if you like this. I know this is a Warhammer vid going back to Vicky 3, but because of the DLC, I thought I should start making Vicky 3 guides. So this will be my first official Vicky 3 guide. What better one to start than from my heritage in Germany? So I hope you guys like this one, and saddle up and get started. So Prussia starts in a very unique position because they have large swaths of territory from the Napoleonic Wars. They came out as the victor in the last war, so their GDP is pretty stable, pretty good. They're number 10 worldwide. They have a decent population with a really insane military force, number 6 worldwide. Their literacy is 41%, not bad, and their standard of living is still pretty decent. They do have 2 disjointed provinces, but there's a mechanic for forwarding the North German Federation. You can start bridging the gap between it, but there is a little cheeky bug going around right now because of the new update. This is in patch 1.5 beta, just to let you all know. So if you don't have the beta, it won't perform like this. I wanted to try out 1.5 before it came out. This is the beta still, so there's a little bit of tweaks and stuff that Paradox has to make. Hopefully we won't receive any of those bugs in the later game when it comes out, you know, because this is still the beta. And if they keep along this path, Prussia is the most obvious candidate to unite Germany, which would be all these little states here. Let's get started. I love that flag. Brings back a lot of memories. So their first port of call for Prussia, let's go to their journal. So they have these 2 options right here, the Schleswig-Holstein question. Now this is where, for other German nations, there's kind of a bug. So if you're playing Bavaria, Hanover, even Austria, that can be very hard to trigger because on your research tab, if you research nationalism before you've resolved that as any other nation, I've noticed that it doesn't trigger. So you're pretty much stuck and can never confederate. Just a word of warning to y'all who are playing Bavarian or any of these other German states that have the option of forming it, or any type of federation of finally forming Germany, just be aware of that. Now they also have the German national identity, so when you have the primary culture, this will trigger, and I think this one you have to hold Schleswig-Holstein from the Danes, because they're part of the Danes right now. And then there's these other ones, but these are pretty much basic ones. So those are the 2 German specific ones. Now, let's take a look at what we start with. You have an okay amount of bureaucracy, a little bit of authority, a lot of influence, some convoys, and a decent amount of money. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to look at our taxes. Now, unfortunately, every game I've had to start with full taxes. You just get too much money from it, even though it will reduce your legitimacy, increase your radicals, but hopefully you'll be able to improve your people's lives a whole lot more, that you can start to reduce your radicals in the government. So, of course, we start with some consumption taxes. I usually add on a cheeky one on services, because that's always good. You could add them to these other ones, but if it's not over 10k, it's not really worth it. And these ones right here would just cost too much authority, so we don't have enough authority to do it. I might cut that one. Let's cut that one too. Any basic needs you don't want to do. I think this is a basic need. You want to check and see what your basic people are getting. So like here, their basic needs are grain, liquor, clothes. Pretty much grain is their biggest basic need. Liquor, yeah, I could reduce it and go for other things because I do have 50k. So you could always do that to help. As long as it's not 10% of their income, that's not a basic need for them. You'll want to look at the lower strata first, no matter what country you're playing, so that you can get them the needs they need. So I'll remove this one as well, and then we'll add it on luxury furniture, on meat. What are we up to now? 40? Yeah, we'll do wine. Yep, and then that brings us back up to 50. Now the first production we're going to do is we're going to build some construction sectors. These are the backbone of your economy. Now you start with iron-free buildings. Prussia has a pretty decent start. They're already slightly industrialized, so they have a nice economy starting. You'll want to be careful with these because when you build one, they take a lot of cash to build. It'll take some time to build, but it will give you some more construction. So I usually build a couple in the capital, and a couple out here, and then maybe one out here too. That's probably all we can afford. And then to increase our standard of living, we got to look at our population again and see who we have as peasants. Peasants make up the majority of Prussia and pretty much anybody at this time. So I usually go to rural, and I'll either set some automatic expansions, but this is pretty much up to you how you want to play. Just be mindful that it will tick every time that it's up there, and sometimes they don't tick all at once. So I usually will just queue up some profitable ones or some ones that give me some employment that's profitable. Like these guys are middle strata, those guys are lower strata. The laborers are okay, but they're not that great. You'll get some farmers, you'll get some laborers, aristocrats. I think the best one to just get out of the peasants is to get the laborers. And of course you want to look at what they're spending for, which right now I believe the biggest expense is probably grain. Yeah, so we want to increase that grain. So what we're going to do is expand some rye farms. Pretty simple, right? You just look at these areas that have a lot of unemployed. Silesia here, we'll add a few rye farms, and then we'll add some rye farms here, some here, and here. And that's queued up a little bit of rye farms. Now, we still have a good amount of income, so we could spend a little bit more. I want to increase my resources, so I'll see the place that has a lot of resources, like Silesia here is an insane coal mine business, so we'll queue up a lot. That is probably too much right there. Roll that back a little bit. If I'm wanting to automate, the only thing I would automate is the rural buildings, just not the industrial buildings, because the industrial buildings is what gives you more machinists and capitalists, and machinists are great to have. And eventually, once you can get these two publicly traded, they'll have more capitalists, which capitalists will help a whole lot in increasing the investment pool. They give more to the investment pool, which allows you to expand your buildings more and pay your people inside there more. So that's always good. If it's prosperous, like if it's in the green, I'll do automatic expansion. But like I said, I usually just set that for the rural buildings, not for the iron mines, because they're still producing. Wait till they're doing good. If they're in the red, I wouldn't hit it. Now for the first technology we're going to do, remember what I said about nationalism, so we're going to skip on that and probably go for either production or military. So we'll probably go for production, and we'll get probably nitroglycerin, because that'll help our mines. Alright, there's this new thing called companies. So for the first companies you establish, oh, you can make two. I would establish either the textiles, because they're really powerful, the steel works, or the steel and metal works. Any of these industry ones, or some of these productive ones, would be good. I do like how they're all companies that actually existed at the time. So I'm going to establish the textile syndicate, because that increases your productivity and prosperity. Pretty much allows you to get more out of your economy. Now, we do have low organization here, because we do need to recruit a general. So I usually would go for armed forces, just because I like to have them in the most power. What you want to look for is traits. Tactful is good for defense. Direct, good for offense. Wrathful is probably want to be avoided. Usually the blue traits are good. I think this one has a good for morale damage and authority, but the white ones are like situational, and then the red ones are the ones you're going to want to avoid. So we're going to go for this guy here. We need another one. We'll get this guy, landowner. And then we have enough. Second army needs a general too. Persistent, yeah, he's good. Alright, and then pillager, that's pretty good. Devastation, persistent, artillery commander, do that. There we go. And now let's keep going. You see our gold went down a little bit, but we still are earning. And it's okay if you go into the deficit sometimes, because you'll want to build up your mines. I want to build up some iron mines. Yet another good place for them would be Silesia. Yeah, Silesia has a lot. Westphalia does too, so do 5 more in Westphalia. Again, you want to be sparing so you don't go too under. Always make sure you can spacebar on and off to see how it updates, because it will update in real time. Be careful of these modes. I didn't talk about modes yet. What you want to do is, if you hover over it, you'll see the substitution. It could show positive income or negative income. If it says that you don't have qualifications to stock, that means people aren't educated enough, and you'll have to wait. Even if you get things, sometimes you may have to wait. So I think we'll choose potatoes. Like I said, these guys already have very educated populace. They're able to work these hours and get this stuff. We're only going to lose 181, and we'll be able to produce hardwood here, so that's good. We could do fishing trawlers, but again, input shortage of clippers, so you're not going to build enough clippers. So if you want to upgrade this, you need to build more stuff. Now, we're going to gain some radicals, and that's pretty much going to happen because our taxes are so high, but that's okay. We also want to eventually increase our taxes for these guys, because eventually you want to get those up and to remove the consumption taxes, but right now we need to try to build up the nation, so it's going to take some time. Now let's look at any other things that they need. Clothes, grain, and liquor. So we're going to have to build some more textiles, which in turn means we might have to build some more livestock ranches, or rye farms would make liquor. So again, we're making more liquor, we're making more wheat. Should probably make more wheat farms though. Again, there's only so much arable land available, so you want to try to get as much there as possible. Now, we're going to build some more of these textile mills, and we already have some here in Silesia. If you have more than one, you'll get a bonus to it, which is always great to have. There's 300 in Posen. Let's build 10 there. I usually do 10 is my rule of thumb to start. Alright, and that should be enough to increase our standard of living, so now we can look at other things. Now, our next port of call is the Schleswig-Holstein situation. What we need to do is we need to own or control a part of the state, make sure that we do it before another country does it. It can be kind of hard because they're not exactly going to trade a state with us. We could try to conquer it, but we'd have to fight Denmark, and I don't know if we have any good allies, so you might want to ally with someone. Austria will most likely attack us if we do that, so we'll have to be careful, and while our armies are raised, they're going to be draining our economy. So now we look at decrees. I usually will take Silesia and encourage the resource industry in Silesia for our only decree, just because Silesia is so insane with the resources it has. For diplomatic lens, what we'll start to do is we could humiliate Austria. Austria does have a decent sized army, but we have skirmish infantry, so we might be able to dunk on them. But we're going to instead focus on making people join our customs union, or change to ours, or just improve relations with all these tiny German states as much as we can with spending our influence here. You know, so we can unite our German brothers. The more that we're improving, the better it will be once we get the options to actually do it. And then you can see the expensive resources and the standard of living problems that you have in here. You're going to have some. It's just how it is. Clippers need to be increased, and so does paper. Both are pretty easily done. So we'll take paper mills. Let's see, we have 4 in Brandenburg. I'll add 6 more. And then the North Rhine will add 5. And then for clippers, shipyards. We need to make some shipyards. Yeah, they're building. We can also see the predicted income we'll get. So we'll have to pick the lowest one, which is either Pomerania or East Prussia, but I'm going to do Pomerania. So let's do 5 shipyards to start with. There we go, we can start making some, because we don't have any clippers, we need to make some. We can always check our market, see what we got here. We were inputting clippers here. Okay, we could always import some more, use our convoys to import clippers. Let's see, the Danish, no, I can't do the Danish market because we're about to go at war with them. Sicilian market? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, Swedish. We have the Schleswig-Holstein question. That's the first journal entry. The German national identity will pop after we've gotten this done. Basically, just be trying to speed run through and build as much as possible. Everyone has to have nationalism to get the German national identity. We're going to gain a lot of radicals early on because of the taxes. That's okay. Like I said, the more we build, the more we make, and then we'll be able to lower the taxes. It's just a matter of time. It's what you got to do until you can afford it. Once you can afford it, then, you know, you can lower the taxes. It's a small price to pay. We're losing a lot of money because we're building a lot, and that's okay. We needed to get some people out of these subsistence farms and into actual jobs so they can improve their standard of living. We actually have private constructions of clippers. That's good. Trying to get some more money. Let's see if we can do a diplomatic play. Who could be our ally? Yeah, let's improve relations with Russia. Let's make Russia our big papa. You want to look to your neighbors to make a big ally play, because allies are big in this game. Usually you do that, make a big ally play, and then go for Holstein or Schleswig-Holstein so you can get it. I'm going to move on to other parts of the game. Oh, we do have wood in the market going up. That's probably because we're building stuff. When that happens, when you see prices starting to go up, that's when you start to expand. Click on what resource you need to expand, and you expand it, no matter where it's at. Always good to expand a lot in one region so that you can get more. Alright, so the army screen, it's a little different now. You got some skirmish infantry here. Pretty much in all of these, you'll have to command them around here. So the first port of call would be to take Holstein, but to do that, you'd have to do this, a conquer state, and then all of these would be undecided, but more than likely Austria will at least go in with Holstein because they are your rival. Everyone else might stay neutral, and it's kind of a balance play. Austria may not go after you. You just have to look at your enemies and see what they think. See, they're antagonistic and they're cold with us, so they're more likely to join wars against us. Because of that, I usually will also go to my military lens or my armies, and I'll start recruiting more people because we're going to need more people. I'll get as many as I can into the army. 5 and then 1, 2. And that's probably not going to be built soon, so we might have to speed up the construction by going in the tab, increasing them by doing Alt-click to rush it to the top, so that we can get more troops. Defense should always be top priority for Prussia because Prussia is a hegemony, so you're going to want to make sure that they can defend themselves. And these barracks don't take long to build, it just takes some time to recruit the troops after they're built. Keep in mind that we can actually expand our construction sectors too a little bit if we want. That way we can get some more construction going and speed this up. Increase them in the queue, get more construction sectors built. Now, our standard of living is going up, even though our loyalists are outnumbered by the radicals. That's okay. Early game, that doesn't really matter. You're not going to get much. We can always look at laws too to increase this. And the first laws I'll either go for is home affairs, trade policies. These ones are usually easy to pass. And I'll do National Guard to get some more battalions. That's usually what I'll do. Now that we've got some more construction, we can build up more, and then we can go after the Austrians. That's pretty much the startup steps. You got it started now. You're starting to increase your standard of living. You have some construction going. You're befriending some people. You have some laws going, and you have some military going as well, so you're able to square up to Austria, and eventually you'll be able to take them down. That's pretty much it for the startup. Keep an eye on your expensive goods. For the politics, you'll want to take a back seat until you spank Austria. Then I would say you have time to worry about your politics. For the buildings, keep an eye on it. Make sure you expand the rural sector, and then the urban sector you're going to want to expand with it. Anything that's really popular or profitable, that'll make you more money. But you also have to look out for your goods that you need, like tools, paper, fabric, things like that. You just expand them when you can, and then keep an eye on your neighbors. That's pretty much the play of Prussia. One big war against Austria or Denmark, most likely two now, because you have to either fight Denmark to get the Schleswig-Holstein question done. So those two wars, and then pretty much all of it is just gobbling it up diplomatically. So I'm going to go beat through the campaign a little bit. I'll catch you all after I've beaten Austria and Schleswig and form the next part of the German state. I didn't say the other state, the bad one. We don't talk about the bad one, guys, okay? Please don't cancel me. And with the research and resurgence of German national identity, we've now gone to our second part. This is when we become the North German Confederation. That's when we get that next goal. So as you see here, we have to become the only German unification candidate, and then we can get German leadership. We got everything else checked off. We resolved Schleswig-Holstein. I beat Denmark. Prussia has research nationalism, and we have our unification candidate. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to attack Austria, which is the only other candidate right now, I believe. And now that we've stomped Austria's butt, we were able to pull ourselves out of that one and get ourselves German unification. So now we start collecting states. We're going to get German unifier. Sometimes it helps to get a little bit of prestige, but I always do with this one. We'll see our achievement. And boom, and now a big boy. We immediately get access to almost all of these states. So now, with the North German Federation, with all of these, like Hesse, North Rhine, the Rhineland, Rhone, all of these ones, it turns it on its head, because now you have so many more things to worry about, because you have to build up all these other regions that didn't have your support for the entire time. But you also get a huge big army, so now we actually have more than Austria, so we could beat them up again. Even though we did just humiliate them, and they're below us now, our next journal entry will be the German unification, and then we have to get pan-nationalism to get this to activate. Now, having unlocked pan-nationalism, now you get this sweet little objective here, German unification, and you can eventually launch a unification play once you have all the things right. And here we are. So this is where you go into the cultures tab. Right here you can go to nation formation, and then you can launch a unification play, which will require you to annex all required states for country unification not owned by unification supported subjects or allies, which means we'll probably have to go to war with a few of these, and maybe some of Austria too, I think, especially Luxembourg. That way we can get it, or we can slowly play the long game and get up to 23 states and eventually have it. So I'm going to show you what happens when you get to that. You just have to play state collector, and you know, these guys are already your subjects. So once you have state collector, then you can just boom, form Germany, and then go on forth from that. And here we are, Strat fans. Whew, the big moment has come. We've finally done all of our work, pushed so far that we're able to finally form Germany. I hope you've done better managing your economy than I have. Oh dear, I overproduced a lot of buildings, and you should never do that because eventually you're going to run out of people, and as you can see, I'm losing people. Even more worrying, I'm losing unemployed people. I don't have enough people to fill my jobs, so I'm suffering like transportation shortages out my butthole, because look at this market access. This is terrible. You guys should never do that. I was just trying to rush through to get Germany. I had to fight another war with Austria and one with France to get Alsace-Lorraine, but eventually I got enough, and we just click this button, and all of my hard work pays off. German unification, a glorious nation, glorious nation. Oh, it's almost glorious. Bavaria, why? Why didn't you join? But still, victory for the German people. Let's do this. Yes. German unification. Whoa! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Whew! After all that work. That's pretty much half your Prussian game done. And then you can focus on getting this number up, which, now that I've formed Germany, it's up, focusing on your economy and all that, and getting ready for the big war that's going to happen with all these states around. That was my Prussian guide for Victoria 3. I hope you guys enjoy these. More will be coming for Vicky 3 and for other Paradox games. As always, if you liked what I did, leave a like down below, comment for me. I respond to all of them. Chuck your sub to me if you really like what I do, exploring strategy content and just having fun as well. I'm going to plan on making some fun Vicky 3 games where we see how wacky the AI can become, just like other Paradox games. So I wish you guys the best, and as always, remember to keep strategic, strat fans. Colonel out.